Hi, this is Emily Nellen from Region 17, and I am doing a video recording on how to create a side-by-side comparison of learning standards for multiple tests. So right now I'm logged in as anybody that is a principal or has advanced access and aware. And once you are, you can go ahead and log in. Just keep in mind a traditional teacher can't do this exact report because they don't have a button that says create a new data view. And that is where we're going to start with create a new data view, and we're going to hit next. And so it's going to ask what type of data do you want to see. So in this case you could grab unit assessments, district benchmarks, you could grab star data, whatever you really want to see side by side. Just for an example, I'm going to grab district CBAs, because I have some good fake assessments here, and I'm going to grab my 4th grade unit assessments. So holistically we'll just say these are units 1 through 4, maybe the first 4-6 weeks, and I want to see how kids have done over time. So if I check all of these boxes, then I'm going to see all of these tests next to each other. I can then click next. I can choose to see it by individual student, district, campus, or teacher averages. In this case, because I'm logged in as a district administrator, I'm going to do it as district averages, but you can choose any of these scenarios that appeal to whatever you're wanting. Okay, since it is local data that happened this year, I'm going to do where students are now. Then I'm going to choose learning standards, so I want to see it side by side with learning standards. I'm going to say next. I'm going to leave all of this blank, so I'm going to say next. And I do want to edit my view, and then I'm going to click on view my report. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and give it a name. I'm going to say side-by-side comparison of math unit assessments. And off of this screen, normally I would be perfectly good to keep going, but since we're going to add a summarize button, so we're going to summarize, we're going to have all the data from all 4 of these tests, and then we're going to have a column that summarizes it. So in order to make that happen, in the bottom right hand corner you'll have a tiny checkbox that you probably would not see if I didn't show it to you, but it says summarize selected test, and you can choose average results or subject results or some of the other information. We're going to do with average results, and it's going to take each test and then it's going to add a summarize column. If you choose with subject results, then it's going to summarize all of this information in one data view, which could be what you want, but we're going to do it side by side. So I'll show you a little bit about what that looks like. Otherwise, we don't need to change anything under columns unless you want to add any other information, and we don't need anything under summarize. So I'm going to hit update in the bottom right hand corner to render that view. Rather than clicking save, we'll click save once we know it's right. Okay, so right now we have what I like to call the scrolling nightmare, that you get to scroll like a crazy person back and forth, which is not one of my favorite things to do. And so I click on this button that looks like a little graph paper, and it says compare across test. When you do that, it flops all of the information on its side. And then of course I really like to color code, so I choose my color coding option. And right here we have all the learning standards that were tested on all 4 of our unit assessments. So it's going to tell you how kids have done on the standards that were tested for every assessment, and at the end we have summarize results. So holistically, this is how kids are performing on these standards over time. So this is what I wanted, in which case you can click save. If you click save, the only thing that does, just for your knowledge, is it puts it under my saved views. There it is. So if I wanted to share this out, I could send the view to teachers, to whoever I wanted to see. Unfortunately, when you do share, this one doesn't work to the best of the ability as a template in most cases. In my case, this would work. because all of my unit assessments are named the exact same thing. The only difference is it says Unit 1, 2, 3. So I could set this as a template for teachers to view, and as long as their titles were the same, it would render the view. However, that is not normal for the test to be the exact same name. So it does not work without the test name being identical. So this would be a good one to send. This is a good one to print off. This is a great one to export to Excel and make that bar graph that I've shown a video of before, and then have the bar graph pulled off of your summarized results. That's awesome. Perfect example of how that could be used. In addition, if you wanted to, there are a lot of people who wanted to see this either by teacher. So you just click on your teacher button if you want to see it by teacher. It may take a second on my demo site. So here's my teacher name. So here's by teacher. In which case, this one's a great example because Nancy has a lot of green and orange, whereas Jeffrey has a lot more red. So this may be a great time for me to say, hey, Jeffrey, you need to get with Nancy and see what's going on here. Because she's nailing this and we're struggling with a lot of these standards. In addition, if you want for teacher use, teachers can do this by student. See if this doesn't take too long. And then you have a report to give every single student. So you could print this off, and I would just cut down the pieces of paper and give each kid their section and say, here are your learning standards, here's how you've done. So then they're accountable for their own work as well. This could be graphs that they're shading in to show mastery. This can be a variety of different ways that you're having students own their data. So those are just a couple of the different ways that you can do this, but for clarification, this is a side-by-side view of all of the unit assessments, and with just a click of a button, I can transition it to district data, campus data, teacher data, class sections, or individual students. I hope this was helpful. Thank you.